Balanced market. It's a term you've likely been hearing more and more in Greater Moncton real estate, but what does it really mean for buyers and sellers? That's exactly what we're walking you through today.
Hi there, we are Denise and Marc, a husband and wife real estate team in Greater Moncton, New Brunswick with eXp Realty. And today we're talking about what it really means to buy or sell in a balanced market, the hurdles you might face, the positives that you can take advantage of, and the mindset that will help you succeed.
Let's start with what a balanced market actually is. It's when supply and demand are fairly even. Neither side holds a major advantage. In real estate, we usually measure this by months of inventory, which is how long it would take to sell all the homes currently listed if no new ones came on the market. A seller's market is typically when there are 0 to 4 months worth of inventory. That's when homes move quickly, bidding wars are common, and sellers hold most of the power.
On the other hand, a buyer's market is generally when there are 8 months or more of inventory. In that kind of environment, buyers have plenty of options and prices tend to soften. A balanced market falls right in the middle with 4 to 7 months of inventory. And that's where we are right now in Greater Moncton, sitting at about 5 months of inventory. Houses are still selling, but the pace feels slower than the hot seller's market that we saw a couple of years ago.
So what does this mean if you are a buyer? Well, affordability is still one of the biggest challenges. Moncton remains more affordable than many other cities, but prices have been climbing steadily in the last few years here as well. Add in the mortgage stress test, and the amount buyers qualify for is sometimes less than they expected, which can make the search feel a little tighter than they hoped. The stress test requires buyers to prove they can afford payments at a higher interest rate than what their lender is actually offering, either your contract rate plus 2% or 5.25%, whichever is higher. The idea is to make sure that if rates rise in the future, you'll still be able to handle your mortgage.
Saving for a deposit is another big piece. Even with programs like the First Home Savings Account to help, as prices rise, so do down payments, and it can feel like the goalpost is always moving just out of reach.
The pace of the market, however, is one area that works in buyers' favor. Instead of homes selling in a day, you now have more breathing room to compare properties, negotiate fairly, and make decisions you feel good about without being rushed into grabbing the first place you see.
Now, if you're a seller, the experience is a little different. The biggest adjustment is around pricing. In the hot market that we've had the last few years, you could stretch the price and still get offers. That's no longer the case. If a home is listed too high in today's market, buyers simply move on, and that leaves the property sitting until the price comes in line with the market.
And that leads to the next point, time on market. Homes aren't always selling in a weekend anymore, and that means budgeting for carrying costs and having a little more patience while waiting for the right buyer to come along. With more listings available, buyers can be more selective, and that means your home has to stand out.
And that's where presentation comes in. A home that shows well and is marketed properly will always attract more attention. Sellers who take the time to prepare their home for sale are the ones who see the best results in a balanced market.
But here's the encouraging part. A balanced market brings real opportunities for both sides. Buyers aren't under the same pressure we saw a couple of years ago. They can move at a pace that feels comfortable and make thoughtful decisions.
And for sellers, one of the biggest advantages is that demand in Greater Moncton hasn't really gone away. People are still moving here for affordability and lifestyle, which keeps a steady pool of buyers in the market. At the same time, a balanced market actually makes it easier for you to become a buyer yourself.
Exactly. In the hot market of the past, selling was the easy part, but finding your next home was stressful and competitive. Today, while your home may take a little longer to sell, you'll also have more options when it comes time to purchase your next place. That's a real win on both sides.
So what kind of mindset helps you succeed in this type of market? For buyers, it really comes down to preparation and patience. Getting pre-approved early gives you a clear picture of what you can afford, and that confidence makes the process much less stressful. You can take your time, explore your options, and don't feel pressured to jump on the first property that you see.
Buyers also have a bit more negotiating power than during the peak of the seller's market. Maybe that means being able to offer under asking if a property's been sitting for a while, or being able to keep conditions like financing and inspection without fear of losing out. It's not about dramatic discounts or anything, but about having a fairer process.
For sellers, success in this market is all about strategy. Pricing realistically from the start is one of the most important decisions you can make. Overpricing will only delay your sale, while a well-priced home gets noticed quickly. Sellers should also expect some negotiation.
Now, that doesn't mean you're giving your home away, but buyers do expect a little more flexibility than they did a couple of years ago. That might mean being open on closing dates or willing to adjust slightly on price if the market feedback calls for it.
So we're wondering, what do you think is the biggest challenge in today's market? Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear your thoughts.
Balanced markets can feel like new territory after years of strong seller conditions, but they also create fairer opportunities for both sides. With the right preparation and mindset, buyers and sellers can both win. And if you're wondering how this applies to your own situation, that's exactly where we can help.
Every week, people just like you reach out to us with questions about buying, selling, or relocating. If you're planning a move, we'd love to connect with you directly. So reach out anytime and let's chat about your plans. And don't forget, you can also grab our free relocation guide through the QR code on the screen or the link in the description.
We are Denise and Marc. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.